Okay, great. So, um, yeah, basically everything we do is in the cloud. So all that means is you can get here anywhere, anytime, as long as you have this web address right up here. And we will make you all emails and passwords to log in. I think they are already made, but if not, we can make them for you. Right now, I'm just going to use my test account. And when you get into your account, you're going to have a decision to make right away. Again, very simple. You only have two choices to make. Do you want to do a managed survey, a VMT full service survey, or do you want to do it yourself survey? So we'll go to the VMT full service survey,
And
just in
I
case.
just want, can I
Yeah,
interrupt you
yeah,
for
go ahead.
1 second? I just want to make it clear to everyone that we are only doing the do-it-yourself surveys. Um, what the other side does is they will actually perform the visual or the survey for us, and there is an additional cost to that. So the only side that we will be doing is the do-it-yourself, where we actually perform the video surveys ourselves with our customers. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was clear on that.
Absolutely. But I will just go through this real quick, just in case you guys get busy. A lot of things happen in the summer,
Sure.
especially with this craziness. We have no idea.
Right.
They might throw all the moves on us at once. That's actually what
Right.
I'm thinking is going to happen, especially with the military jobs and stuff like that. Um,
Yep.
so when you go on this end, um, VMT full service, you're going to create a new survey request. And all you have to do is fill out the customer information. It's the same old stuff here, name, email, phone number. And the only hiccup you may have here is this bottom part. If you want to schedule it with your customer for a time for us to do it, you just check this box, enter that time. If you want us to schedule it with your customer for you, just leave that box unchecked. When you do that, it'll then go down to outstanding surveys. So you'll have a list of all the ones that have yet to be completed. There'll also be notes on every customer. So you can follow along with us. Anything we have with that customer, any communication will be over here in the note body. When we are done with it, we will email you back the survey results, but they will also be stored in finalized surveys. And you can go here, you can watch the video. But yes, it can happen. Fast forward, rewind. You can even download the video locally to your computer, and you can look at the inventory. So in this case, obviously, it's just a small inventory, but you probably won't be in the finalized surveys that much because it gets emailed to you. So you'll probably only be in there if there's a discrepancy or you want to watch the video, review it with the customer, something like that.
And one other thing you had mentioned yesterday is you guys, you probably do not want to download these videos to your computers or to our cloud storage because they're very large and they'll take up a ton of room.
Yes,
So just leave them on their server, on out there in their cloud, and we can always go in and review them. They never um, are deleted. Is that correct?
that is correct. They're stored
Okay.
indefinitely.
Okay. All right.
So that's the full service side. Pretty easy, pretty simple. And then what I like to spend a little bit more time on is the do-it-yourself portion of this. So right when we get in, we decide we're going to, use the software ourselves. We go to that button, and it brings up our customer management list. So everything's in chronological order from the date that we started the survey or estimate. Yours will obviously be blank when you first start, and you're always going to begin in the top left-hand corner. So in the top left-hand corner, we have Start New Survey Unguided. An unguided survey is where you send the customer a link, they record the videos themselves, send them back to you. Obviously, there's advantages and disadvantages to this. A couple of advantages are it's very convenient for both you and the customer because they can do it whenever they want and you don't have to be there. But with this, you do lose some control over the survey. You're hoping that the customer does everything technically right, and they perform the survey right, which means opens all cabinets and closets and things like that. We do have pretty good directions on this that we've revised over and over, but having said that, whenever you let the customer do things themselves, we all know what happens there. Then directly to the right of it, we have the new live survey, which we call guided. This is the one we are going to typically use as if you send it to VMT, and what we recommend that you guys use if possible. So I will go in here, and I'm just going to fill this form out. Again, you would fill out all the customer information here. Again, same old stuff, move date, customer name, email, all that good stuff. What I want to point out.
Actually, can I ask a question real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I schedule the surveys for the salesman, and I answer all the calls.
Yep.
Now, is there a way for me to go in and fill this in for them, or does this have to be done
Tammy.
at the time of when they're of the actual survey?
Nope. So we are going to your login will actually be a little bit different.
Okay. I just want to be able to help them out if I can.
Yeah, but you are going to be
Tammy,
scheduled. You're going to go in here before.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things that we're setting up, Tam, that I'll be getting out to you is we're going to set up a login for you, as he said, that's going to be a little different. So you'll be able to actually schedule these virtual surveys. But again, guys, I just want to stress that at this time, anyway, these virtual surveys are only at the request of the client. I do not want someone canceling a survey, an in-home survey at this point, and rescheduling it for a virtual survey. If Tammy talks to the client, or anyone in the company talks to the client, and the client says that they don't feel comfortable having someone come into their home at this point, then we will have Tammy schedule the virtual survey, and you will get all the same notifications. It will be on your calendars, but it will say virtual next to it. And you will know to go into your login here, and that information for that virtual survey will come up. The other thing is, we don't want anything but a guided video or virtual survey. Where you cannot price a move unless it is a guided survey where you've actually done it with the customer, and you can say, can you open that cupboard, or do you have anything under that bed, that sort of thing. So I just wanted to make a couple of things clear. I know this is happening fast, but these are just some decisions that we made as a company. So I'm sorry to interrupt again.
No problem. That's
Excuse me.
perfect. The more questions, the better. Might as well get them out of the way now. Yeah, or I'll get all kinds of emails and calls. So, yeah, that was absolutely perfect. So, like she said, you're going to be doing mostly the guided version. So there's going to have to be both of you there, obviously. So, in that case, you're going to have to schedule a time. And again, this is just for reference when you're filling out this form. So you schedule a time with your customer that you can meet. And it doesn't matter if we picked 9 o'clock and it was 9:23 right now. Again, this is just for reference. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to schedule it. And I just want to tell you about the receive virtual move link by here section. Most of the time I'm going to go straight to text message. You can email your customer the link, but when you email them, they have the opportunity to open that link on a laptop or a desktop. A lot of people have the emails on their phone, but I want to get them straight to their phone most of the time. So most of the time, I'm just going to want to shoot them a text message right over and get them straight to the phone instead of messing around with the email. So I'm going to go ahead.
Is there a way to click both?
Yes, you can click both.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But
That way
again,
we could use one for a reference and then
Yeah, absolutely. We just don't want to confuse them.
Yeah,
Right,
a lot of
I
times,
understand.
if they get it on their computer, they try clicking on their computer, and they can't take their laptop around with them and do this
Right.
this
Yeah,
thing.
it'll
So
just
that's
try to
the only
send them to their
reason.
phone. Yeah, it'll just try to send them to their phone anyway. So, but if they request for it, then they probably have email on their phone, and just you can
Okay.
go over that with them a little bit so they know. So as you
Okay.
can see,
Thank you.
that's popped to the top of our customer management list. So customer name, survey code, which me and the customer both have at this point. So they will have to use this customer code, survey code, directly when they get into the app. So they will not be able to do anything in the app unless they enter this code. And it is not case sensitive. So in this case, I'm going to use myself as the customer and my cell phone. So I'm going to enter this code. YEH. Now, when the customer enters the code, they only have one button to hit. So like I was saying before, you're there. If you familiarize yourself with this, you'll really be able to guide them through and even tell them if they have any problems getting into the app. But this is something I want to bring your attention to where a lot of people go wrong. This little button has now popped up when the customer, in this case myself, has entered the session on their cell phone. A lot of people, for some reason, get confused about where to go and watch the video. So just remember, this blue button is very important, obviously. In this case, that's where I have to go and actually meet them. So I'm going to hit that. It's going to open up a new window. And I can go around the office. And I just want to also point this out to you. This toggle on and off button. I can toggle on and off my camera anytime that I want. So I'm going to end this session. Okay, so basically what I showed you there is I could toggle on and off my camera. So something that you may like to do, and we recommend that you do, is at the beginning of your session, maybe say, hi, this is Chris, Virtual Move. I'm going to be taking you around today. Just introduce yourself, build a little rapport at the beginning, then turn that camera off. So when you turn that camera off, your connection is going to be stronger because there's only one stream going on. The bandwidth obviously gets cut in half that is needed. So your picture will be clearer. So I recommend that you turn that off after, the initial introduction. You use that little button that was in the top left-hand corner of the silhouette. Besides that, it's really up to you to take the customer around. And with us, our main thing during the live session is that the customer, the shipper, does not miss anything. Any questions or anything that we didn't ask, we can always go and ask after we review the video, right? But if we miss something, we're not going to be able to ask the question. So if you didn't ask if they had the front load washer bolts the first time through, but you've seen the front load washer, you can always go and ask. So our whole script, and I believe I sent it to you, right, Rayanne?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so you guys will have it. It's just built around not missing anything. And that video obviously will now be stored into our back end. You'll see the symbol change from here to here. And we can go and watch that video that we just recorded in this green button.
Chris,
Also,
do you try to do the written survey while you're going through the video with the customer, or do you?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What's the best practice for that? So
you guys will be using QLab. So you'll be on an iPad, I believe, correct?
Correct.
That is correct.
So obviously you'll have the iPad in the side of your desk, and you'll have your laptop with our video up on the other portion of your desk. Like if you get good at it, you can probably do the smaller ones the first time through. Having said that, I wouldn't try it, especially at the beginning or on any bigger jobs, especially if they're COD jobs. You really want to make sure it's convenient for the customer. When you're trying to cube it the first time through, you're going to have to tell them, you know, hey, stop, can you go back? It's just going to be longer.
Right, okay.
And the main thing is you want it to be convenient for them. So you don't want them to be on the phone too long. Like I said, your average should be about 10 minutes going through the first time without cubing. So in that case, it's very, very convenient for your customer. So like I said, I would not try it unless you get good at it and it's a smaller job.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm going to go in here to watch the video. If you put in the addresses correctly, this will pop up the Google Maps, so you don't have to go to a different screen to get this access. And I'll watch the video.
Chris, can you also show them the maps up at the top where they can see access?
Yep. So like I said, if you did enter the addresses correctly, you will be able to see these, and you can zoom in. You know, this is just Google Maps here, and you can move it all around. You're very familiar with this, I'm sure. But it's nice to have them pop up without having to go and enter all this stuff again.
Yeah, that is kind of handy.
Yeah. You know, in a lot of these cases, you can see right there, you know, need a shuttle or don't need one. So very simple. Again, you can fast forward, rewind this video, whatever you want to do with it. And again, like we had talked about on the VMT full service survey, you can download this locally to your computer. Again, we're not going to recommend that unless it's a very important video and you need it for some extraordinary case, because these files are very big and you don't want to take up that space on your computer. This is the inventory portion of it also, which you guys probably won't be using much, at least in the near future, until we get integrated with QLab. So this is our inventory tool. We will be integrated with QLab soon, but not in the near future. So within the next couple months, it'll probably be, 3 months out, but I'll show it to you anyway, just because it's quick. So ideally what would happen is you have the video on one screen, our inventory tool on your second monitor, and you open the room that you're in, and pretty easy, just click it like this. Once you're done in that room, close it, open up the next. So as of now, we won't be using that. We'll just be using the QLab, but in the future you will. So green button to watch the video, the blue button's the inventory, and also you can leave notes on any customer if you want here. And that's just to make sure that everyone's on the same page, or maybe you wanted to leave a note on that customer for your own purposes. So that'll be there if needed. As for any technical issues doing the live survey, we do have instructions right here below the button. So you should not have that many issues, as we have done hundreds of thousands of these at this point. But if you happen to, these are the issues and these are the solutions. So just find the issue and then go to the solution. Most of the time, to be honest, it will be this one. The customer has just forgotten to give you access to the camera and microphone when the app first pops up. So just find out if they have Apple or Android, and these are the exact steps that they would go to give the app, you in this case, permission to their phone. So just click that if you do have any problems, and the answers will be in there. This just sends you back to managed surveys again. In your guys' case, you're going to want to stay away from that one unless you get into a bind. Now, Tammy, as for you, I'll just go over this real quick. What's going to happen in your case is um, instead of logging in and out of everybody's account,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a little button right here that allows you to switch between each account. So
Oh, okay.
that'll be the only difference in your case, in your role. There'll be a drop down. You pick which account you want to go in, and then you're just going to schedule it just like you're them. So the format,
Okay.
yeah, the page won't change at all for you. It'll be the exact same. You'll just be scheduling on their behalf. Yeah, and that's basically it. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sure you have some.
Can you go into the inventory list and let us see what that looks like?
Well, I really feel that we need to use the inventory list in QLab,
Sure.
not the inventory list that's here.
Okay.
Yeah, at least for the time being, you guys won't be using
Yeah.
this until it's integrated with QLab.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there is a point where they are going to be integrated, just not yet. So if you do the cube sheet in this system, you're going to have to redo it in
over again.
QLab anyway. So just, you should have your iPad there while you're watching the video and then cube it in your iPad, just like you normally would if you were walking around the house.
Okay.
One other thing that I do not think that I mentioned is no matter what device you're using, we recommend that you use Google Chrome as your browser. So even if it's a pad, if it's a phone, download Google Chrome. That's the best browser for most things, and in this case, for our system, it's the best browser. Any other questions?
So we can do this from the phone, say like the salesperson has, like they're at an appointment, then they have another one. We can schedule it in between there. They can do it like from their car or a coffee
Yeah,
shop or something.
yeah. Obviously, it's the best on a laptop or a desktop.
Right.
But if you did need to use it on your phone, you can do that. Just make sure you download the Google Chrome to use it.
Okay.
And I think as far as a protocol, what we're going to do is that these will be the first, we'll allow these to be the first appointment of your day.
So we make sure they're in the office.
Yeah, I mean, that's at least
that makes sense.
That's at least the thought process now. And Tammy and I are going to get together on this later today, in exactly, all the steps that we're going to take. This kind of has come at us really quick. Like literally yesterday, we weren't even thinking about doing virtual surveys. So we're putting together the kind of our protocol for this. But I just want to be clear, because I want to make sure, and this is directly from Jean as well, that we are not to decide who gets a virtual survey and who gets an in-home survey. This is something that, Tammy, as she's talking to the customer, if a customer decides to cancel, we're going to offer a virtual survey to them. If a customer says that they're concerned, or they have any of the risk factors that we're asking those questions, if they've been out of the country, if they've traveled in an airplane, on a cruise ship, all of those questions that the CDC has set forth as being those people at high risk, then Tammy is going to offer this service to them. So
even if they were to mention they were maybe immune compromised and have quarantined themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll talk about that, Tammy, a little bit later on. But or elderly who we don't want to risk going into their home and possibly being a carrier with this stuff. This is just, this is all new water for us. So we're trying to do the best we can, and this service obviously is a great service for us right now. So more to come on exactly how this is all going to play out and how we're going to implement it. But I think right now it's going to be the first survey of your day if you have a virtual, and that way you will be either at your home or at an office where you can have your laptops open and be doing this from a laptop. So, you know, more information to come.
What's the timeline for all of us being entered and having our own access?
You guys all have your own access now. Your username is your
Email.
email address, and the password is password, all lowercase.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can
and
change
this
it.
This is the web address you have to go to also.
Okay. Thank you.
And you can change
Is that
it.
is that web address in a link anywhere? I assume it would be.
It's not in the link for the demo, but I believe I can send it to you.
Hey, Ray, and is the password like capitalized or anything?
No.
No.
It's just all lowercase password.
And when you go into your, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, when you go into your account, if you want to test it out a little bit, and I would obviously before you do any real ones, go to a guided survey and use yourself as the customer. So just like I did in the demo, fill out the form, enter your cell phone number, text yourself a link, and then you can see both sides and you'll really get a good idea of what the customer obviously sees in case they have any issues and what you need to do. And after you do that a few times, these will become very, very easy to you. Like I said, I've done a lot of these, but I could probably do these in my sleep. So yeah, this will be a great tool if you really get good with it.
Cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Hey, Chris, I do have another question for you. Most of the other allied agents that you're working for, are they feeling comfortable if they do a guided tour with doing a guaranteed price?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's kind of my thought on this too, is if it is a guided tour, that we, as long as we have all of our documents signed, and this, guys, this will come out in a separate email. I'm just kind of talking out loud and wanted to get his opinion on what others are doing. But, you know, my thought is if we have all the signed documents and we do a guided tour, that we could offer a guaranteed price. So just curious to see what others were doing.
Yeah, so if you do the guided tour, which 95% of people are going to be doing, right? And you follow our script, which revolves around multiple times asking, did we see everything? Is there any other locations? It reiterates it over and over again. So if you follow our script and you see everything, the weight really comes down to you in that case. So like I said, if you focus on that, there'll be no difference from being in the house. So you should feel comfortable giving those prices.
Well, and then also, this is all recorded.
Yeah, so you have a backup if the customer says
we have a backup, absolutely.
If the customer says this whole room isn't going, well, you know, John, you said in the video, which I have right here, that whole room wasn't going. So that's where the discrepancy's coming in.
Right.
So yeah, I wouldn't shy away from that at all. In this case, it's probably actually a little better because you do have a record of it.
Absolutely.
Anybody have any other questions?
I'm good.
All right, perfect. Rayan, you'll give them all my email. If you have if you have any questions during testing or anything at all, I answer my email just about 24/7. So don't hesitate to shoot me over an email, and I'll respond pretty fast as usual.
And you were sending a link to the site, correct, Chris?
Yep, I'll send you this this link up here to log in.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
And Tammy, you're the only one that we don't have set up yet. And Chris,
Of
I just
course.
want you. Yeah. Well, this came up yesterday in our first training about getting you a separate login and all of that.
Okay.
So, Chris, I did just send you Tammy's email address.
Okay.
So you have that now, and you can go ahead and set her up as the kind of manager of the account or whatever you call her.
Okay. Will do.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Mhm.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.